Welcome back, YouTube. So we're finally doing liver, and I say finally because it's probably one of the most common organs and certainly one of the healthiest. Has tons of copper, tons of vitamin A, and a whole bunch of the B vitamins as well. In fact, some people worry about getting too much vitamin A or too much copper, which I don't think it's a concern, but we can talk about that kind of another time. So here's a liver. What type of liver is this? This is a bison liver, but this is a small piece of a bison liver. A bison liver would stretch from here, as long as my arms are all the way to the left here, if we were to go out. So this is just a tip of the iceberg, so to speak. And all livers look, well, not all livers, but all ruminant livers look pretty similar. We've got little small tubules in it. In this case, we have one big one, which isn't always the case. But otherwise, it looks pretty much standard throughout. I'm going to go ahead and cut this up into pieces. So because there is so much copper and vitamin A, I don't want to overdo it, but I also want to have a regular amount of vitamin A, so I tend to cut these up into small, about ounce pieces. So I'm going to cut most of these up into about an ounce, maybe a little bit less than an ounce there. And, these are the size of the pieces that I'll have kind of on a daily basis. That's maybe a little bit large, that's maybe a little small, but it's approximate. So here, actually, let me just do this. And I'm going to cook up one or two, though, to show you just how I like to cook it. So the key with liver when you're cooking it is not to overcook it. So really, you just want to essentially sear the outside and keep it as soft and tender as you can on the inside. So this is the same way that I did heart, the same way that I have and would do kidneys as well, and a few of the other organs, as you've seen, right? I lightly cook some of them. So this is probably looks about a 2 ounce piece. I'll go ahead and have that today, just so I can show cooking it. So I'll cut the rest up into small pieces like that, and I'm going to store these. Unfortunately, wrap them up again and then take them out as needed. If one of the tubes is too much for you, I have a dog. I'm happy to give my dog that tube as well if it's just too much for me. I don't mind them really, but they don't taste as good as the liver itself. So if you want, you can cut that off as well, and if give it to a dog if you have one, or just not eat it. Right, that little bit of the tube. In fact, here, I'll go ahead and give that to Zusi. All right. So in terms of the liver itself, then it's very soft, very tender, and if we come over here to cook it, I've got some preheated tallow. And what you'll notice is that it will shrink up a bit as it cooks, or puff up a bit. Shrink up, I guess, is the right word. And we don't want to do long, so you'll see I've already browned that side. I'm just going to turn this over a few seconds each side if it's hot enough. If it's not hot enough, it might take, a few more seconds each side. And really, I would only do this once. I only really need to do the one sides that I'm worried about for any kind of germs. So I'll just go ahead and hit all the sides, since often it's hard for me to remember where they came from, which side was showing and which side wasn't. All right, now if you're at all concerned that it's not cooked enough, you could always let it cook a little longer. On that edge, I only did a few seconds. So there we go. All right, I mean, that's plenty for me. But if you want to go a little bit longer, you could. But the key is not to go too long. And so let's go over and take a look at this now again. And I've got a plate here to keep it separate. So the outside looks brown, absolutely. And if we cut it open, we'll see it has the same color as the rest on the inside. All right. And that's perfect. That's just what you want to do. You just want to see a slight layer of cook on the outside. Otherwise, you want it to be pretty much as red as possible, because that keeps it the most delicious. This is the best tasting. And like I said, you can have a little bit more than an ounce, certainly in a day. But people who have eaten like a pound a day or half a pound every day for many months, they can get too much vitamin A, because your liver stores it, and that's why there's so much vitamin A in liver. It's because it stores the extra. And so that's good. I had a little bit of a tube in it, though. That's why it was chewy. If you eat that much in a day, you can get vitamin A toxicity. Some people worry about copper as well. But if you have a little bit every day or just every once in a while you have a bit of liver, it's going to be absolutely fine. As I said, right, if you get a cow liver, it's like this big, right? It weighs a lot. And so if you were to have one cow and you ate a little bit of that every day, you could probably go for many, many months and have a piece of liver and still out of the one cow that you're eating. That's it though. I'm going to put a list of all the vitamins down below. And liver is simple and easy and common. So I'm sure you've seen it before. Try cooking it like I did. Very rare. It tastes much, much better. Bye for now.